Archie Hearne III, MD, and Garbo Hearne have dedicated the last 35 years to improving the greater Central Arkansas community by providing quality health care and promoting Black culture through literacy and virtual arts. Education, character, and integrity are essential to the building blocks of their legacy. After completing his residency at Howard University Medical School, Archie Hearne III, MD, a native of San Francisco, came to Central Arkansas and began serving the community. Shortly after opening his practice, he married Arkansas native and nurse practitioner Garbo Goodson Watson. As medical professionals, the Hearnes had much in common. They were both avid readers and shared a passion for Black history and culture. Because of their passion and teamwork, Pyramid Art, Books, and Custom Framing, Hearne Fine Art, and Hearne Family Practice have become centers of wellness, education, and culture. Garbo Hearne has earned a reputation that has positioned her as one of the most highly regarded arts professionals in the state and region. She is on the board of directors of Mid-America Arts Alliance. She served on the Arkansas Arts Council for 22 years, having been appointed by 4 governors. She co-founded the Arkansas for the Arts in 2015 and remains active in advocating for the arts and the creative economy in Arkansas. Family has always informed the Hearne's entrepreneurial spirit. Dr. Hearne recognizes his late mother, Helen Rose Bradley, as one of the most inspirational figures in his life. The Hearnes have instilled in their 4 children, Ra'ambe, Anna, Archie, and Ajania, and grandchildren, Miles, Phoenix, Rose, and Axel, an appreciation and awareness of their culture and history, a commitment to their community, and an inherent sense of character and integrity. According to Dr. Hearnes, to better understand a person, one should look at one's community, look at one's education, look at one's work, and then look at what one has built, not for himself, but for others. Please welcome the Hearnes.
We're going to be fairly brief and fast, but the first thing I have to do is honor the Lewis family, because your father had a lot of energy. I would say my wife is more like your dad than me. So what I would say about that is we basically are standing on his shoulders at this point in time because he paved a path. We had a lot of our own ideas and concepts. When people talk about a bio, a resume, a curriculum vitae, I have to give you a curriculum vitae because of my education, but I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm going to talk about why we chose that site. I've been in practice 40 years, had multiple sites, multiple relationships. There's a telco building. I don't know if you know where telco is, Federal Credit Union. I own that building with St. Vincent's, but St. Vincent's during the healthcare crisis, St. Vincent's decided to change, so I sold out. And Garbo and I always sought a site so we could combine our efforts. Well, we found the site that we're at now was formerly, I think Charles Stewart, people know Charles Stewart, he had got first, what was the first commercial bank to put a site there, and somehow it didn't work out. So I bought that site, and Garbo and I said, we're gonna, instead of pay all this rent, because we were in the river market, we were gonna buy this site, and we were gonna develop this site and develop the community. Garbo's gonna talk more about that. She has, I think she's got a written speech or she's got information.
We got a slideshow.
We got a slideshow, we'll work together. But she and I have pretty much been partners. She comes up with an idea, I come up with an idea, and we actually go at it. We're like field generals. I I lay down concrete, I do the yard, I've been on the roof, with people told me not to be on the roof. So we have done a lot of hands-on work, but we have collaborated. That's our favorite word, is collaboration. We've worked with a lot of people. The public is, the community has always supported us. So Garbo has kind of the gist of what's going on here. Go ahead.
Okay. So thank you all for this opportunity to share our passion with you. We are currently at the location of 1001 Wright Avenue in the center of the Paul Lawrence Dunbar Historic District. Our presentation, let's see if I move, was to start with Archie to talk about his interest and why he is in healthcare, so you gotta stay with the script.
Okay, stay with the script, okay. Well, it says it there, you know, that I've been a physician for 40 years. I trained at Howard, I trained at UAMS pathology. I decided I didn't want to do pathology. I have 10 years experience in emergency medicine. I've done emergency medicine all throughout the state. I had privileges at Children's Hospital because I did a lot of peds. I was chairman of the Department of Family Practice for about 10 years at St. Vincent's. I have staff privileges at St. Vincent's facilities as well as Baptist facilities. But my biggest thing is I wouldn't say, you know, I wouldn't say black people being a black doctor, but just being a doctor. It was a guy named Dr. Knight, met me one night. They called him Dr. Knight because he was an oncologist and he used to do his rounds at night. But he met me one day. He said, Archie, he said, don't be a black doctor, just be a doctor. I said, okay, but for some reason I'm still the African-American doctor, but I still practice standard of care. So it's nothing unique about my practice. You know, I see people with pneumonia, broken arms, cancer. You know, I'm a family practice doctor. I was one of the first, I think, doctors to, I didn't really promote, I can't prescribe marijuana or recommend it. You can recommend it because there's a law called the Allen Law that allows a doctor to recommend it, but we cannot prescribe it. But I got into the business of certifying people. Next thing I knew, people were coming to me asking me about what they should. I couldn't tell them. I could just advise them based on 15 different conditions. You can get this prescription. I found out in the last 3 years, 85% of the people who come see me are white, and 85% are over 65. So it is pretty much a legitimate venture as it relates to healthcare, but as it relates to the business end, I don't really deal with that. I don't have any ownership in any of the dispensaries or growers, but I've sort of I promoted it because I didn't have any issue with it. And after 3 years, you have these people coming from Scott, Arkansas. These are farmers, 85-year-old. They come in, they've been coming in every 3 years to recertify. So there's been some benefit to it. And what's the other thing? Now Garbo says spearhead community health fair featuring several medical partners and services. Well, we do a yearly community festival. I think this is our 3rd or 4th year. We got rained out last year. But this has been a very nice festival because we bring in different type of healthcare workers. We do screenings and promoting other businesses, basically. All right, next, girl.
Okay. So to talk about what pyramid art books and custom framing, let me find we are technically.
There you go.
So in 1988, Pyramid Gallery was born on the corner of 12th and Fair Park. Our focus was to bring black culture in the form of the arts to Arkansas, because there was not a gallery there that focused on black art and culture. We also had a partnership with Genesis Bookstore. It was a Christian bookstore that moved next door to us on 12th and Fair Park. Well, that land was sold, and then from there we moved to 1308 Main Street. We were on, next to Juanita's on Main Street, where everything is happening now, south on Main. But we were there from 1989 to 1998. And in that space, we added books, we added the service of custom picture framing, and we became Pyramid Gallery and Books. And in 1999, we moved to the River Market. We were the first business in the museum center, and we were excited to be in that area because it was new. We were one of the first ones there, and people betted that we wouldn't last. But we lasted there until 2010 when we moved to the Dunbar Historic Neighborhood. And I say that that is where we should be. That is our home. This primarily we support, we promote, and we take care of black people. And it's very important that we be in that area because that was one of the oldest black neighborhoods in the city of Little Rock, and the Dunbar Middle School is right across the street. That is a historic building and structure that educated blacks since 1929. And we're 100 years from that structure being 100 years old, and it's still providing education for our people. So from there, bringing Pyramid Art Books and Custom Framing and Hearne Fine Art to that neighborhood is very important because we provide a platform for authors and artists to share and exhibit their work. We work with local, regional, national, and international authors and artists, and we're excited to be that platform and give them an opportunity to come and share their work. Currently, we have the work of Kevin Cole. Kevin Cole is from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He's based in Atlanta. And this exhibit is very important because the name of it is Where Do We Go From Here? Exploring gerrymandering and voting, and understanding that the 2024 elections are coming up. And if we don't get behind our people and make sure that they vote, because only 50.8% of Arkansans voted in the 2022 election. We cannot let that happen in 2024. So we're using art as a platform to bring people together. I'm not telling you who to vote for, what party, but just exercise your right. We have examples of what our people went through, from lynching to paying poll taxes, to answering arbitrary questions like how many bubbles in a bar of soap. This happened. This happened not less than 40 years ago, and gerrymandering is still happening. We have to be passionate and thoughtful about who our local, state, and national politicians are. We can't let other people decide for us. So we're using art as a platform to tell our story. Like, I believe in technology, but the thing about it is a book and a piece of art is never going anywhere, because the book is going to keep our when this won't charge up, we still have our books. When you have original oil paintings, you can't turn on your computer, you can't turn on your phone and find a picture. You'll have that original art that is telling our story. So art is the essence of our humanity. It's a part of our creative economy. If we didn't have artists, I mean, think about it. Look at your glasses, look at your hair, look at the food that we eat. Everything comes from a creative, which is an artist in some sort. So we are moving on to our next part, right, which Archie's really excited about.
I didn't want to talk long because we're past the time, That's why, that's what I had said initially. I could say a lot of things about my education things, but my education is all based on me serving. So this is where we took all our education, all our effort, our financials. I mean, we have invested in this community.
Okay.
So let's move on and show them what the community is about, what we're doing.
Let's move to the, see it?
Okay. You can go back. Go back. Keep it. This is,
sorry, there.
Okay, this building, who used to own this building, The Millers?
The Miller House.
The Miller was a postman on the corner of Ringo and Wright. I bought that building, and I basically gutted it, but I kept the exterior structure the same. We needed more storage to store art, so I invested in that, and over a period of time, we bought land across from there, and we created a Dunbar Park. It looks better in the summertime, but it's a sculpture garden, but it adds to the community. So we literally tried to bring some aesthetics to the community, basically planting certain trees, just what your father did, keep it clean, keep it looking good, and that's what we made that effort. But we kept thinking, we kept expanding. This is a piece of property that Reverend Featherstone deeded to me for $10. And he wants me to develop this property. I have intents of creating a housing community here. I've already started building on Ringo. This takes a lot of time. Being a physician, that's my biggest problem now. I tend to be hands-on, and then I have to hurt my shoulder doing that. But this is the future. Like the Lewis, I could see his vision expanding, but all in conjunction with the community. And we borrow and we lend. We do the same thing. All those principles that you had, that your father had, we've tried to follow all of those things, hopefully. So this is our effort now, is to try to develop, we call it Dunbar Garden Real Estate LLC. We have one or two investors. Featherstone invested by deeding that property to me. I told him that as that property gets developed, once it's developed, I will give him interest. His interest will be the percent of the, whatever the property's value after development would be his investment. And then he wanted me, he doesn't want the money. He wants me to put it in a trust for his grandkids. So that type of collaboration with an individual is always great. Go on.
Okay.
You got to go back.
See, I don't know. Oh,
You got to look at what's going on up there.
all right.
No, talk about the other thing.
Which one?
That one, yeah. This, like your father developed a legacy, we've reached kind of a pinnacle in the art world. And Garbo is, I'm an auctioneer. I actually auction off art. Garbo is an appraiser art. She has a specialty as an appraiser in general, but she's a appraiser of African American art. She's done a lot of things in politics. She's got a bill floated to help educate legislators about the art, the impact of art. And so we were honored by University of Central Arkansas to put on a exhibition of our collection. We sell art, we appraise it, we do framing, but we also collect art. So this is a real honor. We became proud of ourselves that someone would want to take our collection and show it to the country. And so at this point in time, UCA, University of Central Arkansas Art Department, Baum Gallery, they have an exhibition of our work for a month. And we have a very glorious collection of work. So we do eat what we grow, as to say.
But primarily, this exhibition also pays homage to 4 pioneers of the paint, the 19th century work. So it's an exhibition of the past, our current collection, and then Louise Mondumbois, who's a recent graduate of UCA, who's currently at Yale getting her MFA. So it's a 3-part exhibit, and I hope that you get a chance to view it. But again, as we speak about the importance of the arts are the essence of why we exist, and we're excited to be a part of this.
What we did, I have to keep referring to his father because I'm really excited about what his father's done. We have diversified our business interests all around education, art, health, and literature. And now we're trying to do a little real estate here, development in that community. This is my son. This guy has a degree in special education. He has 3 jobs. He manages a home for handicapped people. He has his own business as a supplier of office supplies. He calls it Reservoir Supplies. And he works at a
Rock City Kicks.
Rock City Kicks, where the kids buy those $200 pair of shoes.
So,
Yeah.
So as we say, the legacy of entrepreneurship is within our children. So thank you so much for listening to our presentation. Are there any questions?
Well, we can go on and
There's
on.
a question.
Yeah,
There's a
question.
I just want to know, and you did say we could go to UCA and see your art. Because
Exhibit.
right now you have to go all the way to Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
To Crystal Bridges, so that's good that we can.
Interestingly enough, we have a relationship with Crystal Bridges too. We're trying to bring things to them, but art is an interesting thing. There are 3 things about art. You have to love it, one, and then you have to understand the business part of it too. And the milieu is the people you meet. Some of the greatest people you find in art. We have sold art to people all around the country, and because they love it and they understand the economic value of it. Overall, Garbo always talks about the economic engine. You want to say something about that briefly?
I mean, the arts are the basis of our creative economy.
Right.
That's what makes Arkansas work. That's what makes the world work, is the arts and the creative people within it. You got to have somebody to do it, but you also have to have somebody with that brain to create it.
People go to Paris to see the Eiffel Tower. That's an architectural wonder. people go up to Crystal Bridges, and then the Crystal Bridges, you have to have hotels, you have to have all of these things surrounding. You go to Met, New York, it brings lots of business. So we've been promoting that in Arkansas.
And you don't have to just go to Crystal Bridges to see art.
You come see us.
You can come to our gallery and see art, and there's several
we've been very diverse.
amazing art galleries in Central Arkansas. So definitely, you definitely can go to Crystal Bridges, but there's a lot of wonderful art in Central Arkansas.
So that's been our contribution to this community, and that's also, I think we didn't start off as business people. We started off as servants. We wanted to educate people about the arts, history, and but you have to run it like a business. You have to run everything like a business.
And we have, many collaborations with the many churches in our area. With the Dunbar Historic Neighborhood Association, we helped to produce that festival. In 2014, that district became a historic district, and after that, every year, most of the people didn't even know it had been named a historic district until we started the festival, and we made the school the focus of it, because the students that go there and the teachers that taught there didn't know the history of how important Dunbar School was. So we definitely collaborate with Dunbar Middle School, Sue Cowan Williams Library, and all the churches around us. So it's definitely been an effort within that community to keep it moving.
We haven't done this alone.
No.
So the community has supported us in this effort, and we're not finished.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, I've gone to your art gallery, I do like art. How do you get the different artists to submit art to your gallery?
Well,
Let me answer that. Okay. We work with emerging, mid-career, and master artists, which Julie are no longer with us at different levels. So basically, we meet artists at different events. Artists send their portfolio to me, and we just sit down and I meet with artists and see if they fit within our team, because we don't represent artists who will compete with one another. So we definitely want to make sure we have something for everybody. So it's just a matter of communications and talking with that artist and making sure that they fit within the realm of what we are trying to accomplish. And with authors, we welcome Arkansas authors. Many of you have had book signings there. We give you a platform to come and share and perhaps sell your work, but it's about giving you a space and a place to share your story.
Believe it or not, Little Rock has this gallery, and this gallery is probably one of the most prominent African-American art galleries in the country. And Garbo is, to her credit, has done a great job. Artists seek her out. She was in, during that pandemic, a lot of institutions wanted to support African-American businesses. Well, what businesses do you support? The first thing they said, well, bookstores. So because they didn't have an African-American bookstore in Arizona or Alaska or Alabama, Arkansas came up, so she was listed first. And then after that, they looked at her resume, saw who she was, and then she got a flood of orders from Corporation for Books. And then they recognized her in the art world as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just giving you some credit for you.
He's my, whatever. But again, during the pandemic, we survived. We were able to pay our staff, stay open, and we did mail a lot of books out, and we worked with people with so we know we are an essential business that we're needed. So.
And not only that, I have to add one thing. Women in business. So here's Garbo, my wife. I stand behind her most of the time because she is, I've let her run it with it.
Thank you.